Fast food restaurants guidelines during the pandemic and present face-to-face according to the Department of Trade Industry will be presented by
Princess Angela Borbon, Elizabeth Catris, Valerie Andillo, and Harold Bimmao.
The world's normality has changed and keeps changing because of the COVID-19. As a result, multiple sectors, including the fast food sector, are attempting to adjust to the changes. Prior to the pandemic, the fast food sector benefited from globalization. However, because of the rules limiting the cross-border flow of people and goods, the sector has lost the advantages of globalization. In order to promote social distancing, restaurants ban in-person dining experiences and restrict the sit-down services, making it difficult for many companies to stay in the business. According to data, 4 out of 10 restaurants had to close their doors because of financial difficulties and a decline in sit-down customers. Here are some of the guidelines in general of fast food restaurants during pandemic according to the Department of Trade Industry or DTI. A. Posting of information materials at the entrance and other prominent or conspicuous areas on the following. 1. Enforcement of a no mask, no entry policy. 2. Social distancing protocols of the establishment. 3. Maximum number of allowable persons. 4. Regular sanitation, schedule and procedures. A 10-minute interval for sanitation in between customers dining in is required. 5. Availability of alternative methods of payment, if applicable. 6. Availability of alternative methods of ordering and picking up of orders, example, online or via text. 7. Client personal interaction protocols. And last, 8. Enforcement measures. B. Requiring the placing of the following at the entrance. 1. Floor mat or footbed with disinfectant, unless other entrances such as small entrances leading to the dine-in restaurants have already provided this. 2. Queuing area while waiting to be seated with a roving officer for compliance with social distancing of 1 meter between persons and that face masks are worn. 3. A calibrated thermal scanner for temperature reading. Customers with a temperature of more than 37.5 degrees centigrade or a cough, colds, or shortness of breath shall not be allowed inside the restaurant and shall be advised to proceed to the nearest hospital. 4. Rubbing alcohol that can be easily sprayed on the hands. And last, 5. Health checklist for customers to fill up. C. Installing the following equipment and system at the workplace. 1. Properly sanitize tables and chairs after each customer's use. 2. Distancing of tables and chairs to at least 1 meter apart on all sides. 3. Face-to-face seating allowed only with proper dividers. 4. Visible floor markings for guidance of clients in queuing, preferably color-coded. 5. Proper ventilation in the establishment. 6. Visibility and accessibility of sanitizing equipment and tools. 7. Provision of food menus per table. 8. Contactless order taking. 9. Cover pieces of furniture of porous materials in plastic for ease of sanitation. 10. Personal effects of personnel in plastic bags and stored in an area inaccessible to clients. 11. Clean trash bins for used papers and used tissue. 12. Clean washrooms and toilets with sufficient soap, water, and tissue and toilet paper. 13. Disinfection of high-risk areas such as order and bar counters every 30 minutes. D. Taking dine-in orders. For counter menus, counter calls the assigned number, immediately takes customer's order, receive payment, sanitize hands, and advise customer to sanitize hands and to wait for their order at their assigned table. 2. For single-use table menus, upon entry, customers shall be escorted to assigned table with corresponding number, who will select order by checking choices in the menu placed on the table. 3. For non-single-use menu, upon entry, shall be escorted to assigned table with corresponding number, who will select orders from the menu placed on the table. 4. For B and C, both customers and server sanitizes hands after placing order and payment. 5. For B and C, handing off payment to server after confirming orders is encouraged, ensuring proper health and safety of all personnel at all times. 1. No work for personnel with COVID-19 symptoms or with exposure of COVID-19 patients. 2. Checking and recording of personnel's temperature, check before and after work, as well as whereabouts before work to be sent to the restaurants or fast food manager via SMS. 3. No wearing of pieces of jewelry, example rings, bracelets, watches, earrings, etc. And then 4. Observance of proper personal hygiene, example clip fingernails, observance of company imposed personal sanitation, etc. 5. Strict observance of social distancing measures in all parts of the establishment, including cashier counter, beverage bar, kitchen and back areas. 6. Washing of hands at least once every hour or after every encounter with guests. 7. Keeping the distance of 1.5 meters between personnel. 8. Mandatory wearing of personal protective equipment or PPE, such as but not limited to face mask, face shield, gloves, and hair cap. Mandatory procedures upon exit. 1. No physical contact during payment. 2. Provision of small trays for accepting cash. The manager on duty shall ensure compliance of all customers and personnel inside the restaurant or fast food establishment with a minimum public health standards. Dine-in restaurants and fast food establishments need to comply with these health standards to operate. This will be the new normal. In areas declared under Modified General Community Quarantine or MGCQ, dine-in restaurants are allowed to operate at 50% capacity.
This topic is the present guidelines physical setup control. So first, for indoor dining, installment tabletop clear dividers made of acrylic or any similar transparent material is important to prevent droplets transmission in face-to-face sitting arrangements. While for outdoor dining, government implement an alternate or diagonal seating arrangement if tabletop clear dividers are not installed. They also ensure the adequate air exchange in enclosed areas through the implementation of strategies as cited in DOLE Department Order number 224 to 221, such as maximizing natural ventilation through the opening of windows. Also, use of low-cost modifications to improve airflow. For example, the addition of fans or exhaust fans. Installations and regular maintenance of exhaust fans and air filtration devices with high-efficiency particulate air filter is important. Next is installing any of the following hand hygiene and sanitation facilities and supplies. Hand washing station or sink with adequate and safe water supply, soap and water or 70% isopropyl or ethyl alcohol, and hands-free trash receptacles, soap and towel dispensers, door openers and other similar hand-free equipment, the use of foot baths, disinfection tents, misting chambers or sanitation booths are not recommended. Next, maintain physical distancing by ensuring table and seat spacing. Using unidirectional markers in queuing areas and reducing seating capacity in accordance with the prevailing alert level system where the food establishment is located. Next, they implement a buffet service only under these conditions. Only the food servers will serve the food and all the food trays must have covers. And lastly, food is maintained at recommended safe temperature. For For example, the use of warming trees and ice. They also install cues or signage to communicate the following: maintaining physical distancing of at least 1 meter distance between customers, cough and sneeze etiquette, proper hand hygiene and infection control. They also provide a proper facility for proper storage, collection, treatment, and disposal of used PPE and other infectious waste in accordance with DOH AO 2021-0043, prohibited the use of play areas or playgrounds. And lastly, this allowed the use of self-service stations like do-it-yourself customer refill and condiment stations. These protocols are in place for the health, safety, and well-being of our community. Following health protocols is everyone's responsibility and creates a caring environment where we are all doing our part to help keep our community safe.
And now, the guidelines during pandemic as of March 2020 by Popeyes Restaurant. For everyone's safety and well-being, we will be implementing these protocols inside our restaurant. First one is the temperature test. Any guest with a body temperature reading about 37.3 will not be permitted inside the restaurant. Second is one person per party. Let's observe social distancing by keeping 6 feet away from each other. Third, the mask is a must. Only those wearing face masks may enter the premises. Fourth one is takeout only. We are only accommodating takeout orders in our restaurants. Fifth is for everyone's safety, we require our employees to properly wash their hands every 30 minutes. All employees frequently change into a new pair of gloves after hand washing. Alcohol dispensers are available in different areas inside the restaurants for use. Various touchpoints areas are sanitized after each transaction. 6 is keep your distance. Let's do our part in fighting against COVID-19 by observing social distancing. Everyone is advised to keep a safe distance of at least 6 feet away from each other inside the restaurant. Please note that we are only accepting takeout orders in our restaurants. For the present guidelines as of November 2022 of Popeyes Restaurant, we have strengthened our existing safety procedures in all Popeyes restaurants so you can have a clean and safe environment to enjoy your favorites. We are also conducting temperature checks among our staff before and after their shift to make sure they are in good health. We've also intensified our food preparation, hygiene procedures, so your food will remain of the highest quality and safety standards.